Hello, friends. We're getting very close now. However, we're also kind of close to those guys over there with the crossbows, so let's leave. Our adventures in the Belfry have left us with a bit of a surplus of souls, to say the least. Whenever you visit Majula, it's good to take stock of your inventory and go visit Lenegrast if you think anything is broken. Of course, a much easier way to do that is to just talk to him and it will tell you what is broken, but I just had to save that 5-foot trip to his shop.
I'm glad to see.
It's time for some more fashion souls. In the interest of giving Molan a steady income, we're going to go ahead and buy the Elite Knight helm.
Thanks very much. Do come again.
Despite being similar to the Hide Knight mask, it's quite a bit different too. It's a more fluted style, and it has no crest. When combined with the Elite Knight armor, we have a very iconic look to us right now.
Bearer of...
Always check and see if you have a shard, you never know. We're getting to the point in the game where level up costs have started to sort of outstrip the number of souls we get. So leveling up at this point starts to slow down quite a bit. Because as you may have noticed, each time you level up, the cost for the next level up is just a little bit more. As you go up in levels, that cost increase rises itself, which means that once you get to about, I would say, soul level 90, the investment in leveling up becomes pretty steep. We're still in the area where we can do it fairly regularly. Alright, this is why I hate this bonfire, by the way. The minute you spawn in, you are assaulted by these guys. I honestly think this is some sort of design oversight. This is the only bonfire in the entire series that I can think of that does something like this. At any rate, let's explore Sinner's Rise. This dilapidated tower has some goodies in it, but it mostly has enemy soldiers. That's the way back to the Bastille. It's a good idea to go for backstabs when you can. Now, this room can be very dangerous. There's 3 knights in there, and they all have a clear shot at you. Even with the shield and spear's protection, we ended up taking quite a bit of damage just because they attacked from so many different angles. There's a bit of a secret on this elevator if you pay attention. This elevated area here holds 15 lacerating knives, which are like throwing knives, except if you hit enough of them, they inflict bleed. In the interest of saving time, I'm going to go ahead and send that back up. just in case we die down here, that will save us a bit of waiting. Luca Teal's sign is here as well. However, I'm going to wait a little bit before we summon her. At the bottom of Sinner's Rise, we encounter these interesting looking guys. These are Enhanced Undead. Their origins are a bit of a mystery. But they are very powerful and very resilient. Don't try and take these guys out with any kind of magic or elemental damage. They are extremely resistant and you will just burn through your spell charges. A good old-fashioned vanilla weapon will serve you much better. That one was guarding a sublime bone dust, which is quite a prize. To make matters worse when it comes to the Beheance Undead, they move somewhat erratically due to their strange body shape, and the waist-high water makes maneuvering a little bit difficult. It doesn't affect your rolls, so you're safe on that front, but just moving around is quite a bit more difficult than it should be. This secret door leads what appears to be the open ocean, but a closer inspection reveals the Northern Ritual Band. It's sort of a sister ring to the Southern Ritual Band. Instead of increasing the number of attunement slots we have, the Northern Ritual Band increases the number of spell casts. However, it also comes at the price of maximum hit points. So, for a generalist build like we're going for, I don't find it to be very useful, but for dedicated casters who are too far away to take much damage to begin with, it can be a very powerful ring. The tail swipe attack of the Enhanced Undead is probably their most dangerous. It comes out quickly, and because his lower half is submerged in water, it can be difficult to see the tell. Now, you don't want to advance too far along the waterway here because there are some undead citizens, and they are more than happy to explode on you while you are fighting the Enhanced Undead. This is quite an atmospheric area. It's honestly quite unsettling the first time you go down here. This half-flooded prison, inhabited by the insane and the malformed. There's probably some overlap between those two categories, too. While you're traversing this area, it's good to periodically press in the lock-on button, because that will detect any undead citizens that are hiding beneath the water. And it doesn't really cost anything except some awkward camera flips. There isn't a whole lot in these cells, but it's still worth it to check them out. Oh, this poor guy. I'm feeling compelled. I have to leave a message. Something inspirational. I am part of the problem. It's me. I laugh at the dumb skeleton jokes. At any rate, on the other side, we continue our exploration. The entire area is fairly sparse, but we're finally rewarded. Behind this locked door, which we can open with the Bastille key that we got from after the gargoyle fight, we are rewarded with a fire seed, which we can use to help upgrade our pyromancy flame. Now this looks ever so slightly ominous, don't you think? There's not exactly a good view of anything down here, but I will admit, the doorway behind us looks kind of like a cute face. Before we challenge whatever is behind that fog door, there are still a few things we need to do first, such as picking up some miscellaneous items. Now, the primary reason for picking up the Bastille key is to access these rooms. Bringing a lit torch down here is no small feat, because if you roll with one in the water, it will go out. So here is a good time to use one of our flame butterflies. We can set light to this oil chute just like we could a brazier. Doing so creates quite the racket. There's another one over here, but nothing to go with it in terms of items, so let's just light it and be on our way. With both of those lit, we'll have a significantly easier time against certain aspects of the next boss fight. We're going to take a short trek back to summon Luca Teal to help us. The interesting thing about this area is that it is very long until you clear out all of the enemies. Then it's very short. The geographical area covered by the Sinner's Rise is actually not very much at all. It's simply filled with fairly tough enemies. Now, Luca Teal could have helped us with those enemies. There's no law that states that you need to summon a phantom just for a boss. But there is a compelling reason that I did not want to summon her before, and that is, I need to keep her alive. If Luca Teal is summoned and survives 3 fights with you, then you are rewarded for your efforts. However, the key word is survive, so I didn't want her taking any unnecessary damage. Luca Teal is very fond of tanking things with her face, so it's better safe than sorry. I briefly considered unequipping the Southern Ritual Band, but I figured that it would not hurt to have heal and magic weapon available at the same time. This is the Lost Sinner. The Lost Sinner is one of the 4 great old ones that inhabit this land. She is also a giant pain in the ass. She is not a difficult boss fight. However, her sword has very generous hitboxes that can actually hit you when you are standing directly behind her. She also loves to jump around. This makes things more difficult than they should be if you summon a phantom, because what will often happen, she will hit Luca Teal once or twice and then jump directly away from you. It's difficult to find any opportunity to actually hit her in this fight. It's not always like this, but it is now, and it's not great. By lighting the oil slicks up above, we actually light up her chamber. If we had not, this would be a much darker place. I actually go for an emergency mid-combat miracle heal here, just to keep Luca Teal alive. Due to some camera fuckery, I actually have no idea if it worked or not. She might have jumped out of range. But either way, she is not looking too good, so we better wrap this up quickly. The Lost Sinner's attacks are fairly simple. They come out quickly, and they hurt a lot if all of them hit you. But with a little bit of help and a dramatic finish, you should be okay. With that, we have embraced our first great soul, the soul of the Lost Sinner. This is the first leg of our journey, firmly over. But what was that bug? What was her sin? Maybe we'll find out later. Do not forget to open this chest, because it has a very important item in it. The fragrant branch of yore. Fragrant branches of yore sort of act like keys in this game. However, they're a very special kind of key. Primal bonfires essentially act as one-way warp points. By resting at one, we go directly back to the Farfire and Majula. That is more or less their only purpose. It's useful enough, but there's nothing really special to them besides that.
You have acquired the soul of an old one. That is more than most undead can say.
The Emerald Herald is not particularly enthused about our progress, unfortunately. Before I forget, let's burn this bone dust to upgrade our flasks some. And let's see what this fragrant branch does. Restores the life of things turned to stone. Now, I have an idea of where we might be able to use that. There are two places that we can use our single branch at the moment, and there is one in particular that I'm going to prioritize over the other for reasons that will become apparent. Returning to this area that we visited at the very beginning of our adventure, you might recall the strange statue that was blocking the lever that opened the door. Presumably, anyway. We open doors our own way. Ways that are really harsh on our weapon's durability, so let's not do that again. Unsurprisingly, these guys are much easier to handle when the only weapon we have at our disposal is not an upgraded dagger. Let's go ahead and see if this works. That's an interesting interpretation of physics, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been petrified. Hard to speak. Give me a moment, please. I'm fine, I think. No. I'm fine. Really, I am. My name is Rosa Bear. Thank you so much for rescuing me. Oh, you're that traveler. I still haven't thanked you. Well, I'm quite a hand at pyromancy. So perhaps you could consider this my thanks.
I have no idea what a prism stone has to do with pyromancy.
I was attacked and turned to stone, I think. I owe you my life. If you had not come... Oh, I feel shameful wearing these rags. I hate to burden you further, as you've already saved my life. But just look at me. My clothes are in tatters. Do you have any clothing that you could spare? I'll take anything, whatever you don't need. I'm not particular when it comes to apparel. Anything at all will do. Just put it on the ground, and I'll change into it later.
Well then, I don't think that we could rightly pass up a chance to play Fashion Soul some more. But first, let's upgrade our Pyromancy Flame. Rosabeth of Melfia, in addition to sort of providing a strange little mini-game where we can dress her up with unwanted equipment, is the primary pyromancy trainer in this game. Unfortunately, our stock of clothing is a little bit sparse at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and give her most of the Wanderer set. I'm not a huge fan of how it looks on us. We'll throw in some tattered cloth manchettes because we are overflowing with those. And round it out with the boots. Good practical clothes for any occasion. Now, let's see what she has for sale. These quartz rings increase elemental resistance. They're dirt cheap, so I just go ahead and buy them all. They're pretty useful. I also buy up her entire stock of pyromancy spells. This might seem excessive, but the advantage to pyromancy remains that none of the spells have any stat requirements attached to them, so we can use all of those without issue. She also sells fire seeds, which we can then use to upgrade our flame some more. Buying all of them would break the bank a little bit, so...
I have my very own teacher. His name is Carillion of the Fold, a famed sorcerer in Melfia, our hometown. I was fascinated by sorcery, and so, well, he's so unique, you see. When he set out for Drang Lake, I couldn't let him go alone. But we were separated, quite early on, I'm afraid. I'm rather unskilled. Milord probably ditched me. but oddly, I'm a fast learner when it comes to pyromancy. What we're fascinated by, and we're skilled at, are not always the same thing. Why can't I just focus on what I truly enjoy? Oh dear, I shouldn't be so choosy. It's hardly my place. I have my very... I was... when he... but... Thank you so much. I'm very happy for this gift. After I change into this, I'm heading for Majula. I'm not sure where I might find Milord. But perhaps Majula is my best chance.
As it so happens, that is where Carillion is currently located, so her search shouldn't be difficult. Let's inform this fellow that the way is clear.
What? Clearing the way was you doing, was it? Didn't think you had it in you, pal. No. That's not like it sounds, no. It was a pleasant surprise, that's all. Name's Benhart. Thanks to you, I can resume my journey. If we share the same path, I'm sure that we are going to meet again. I'll repay my debt to you in battle. I swear it, by my sword. The road ahead's going to be long, but I'm here to help. I am in your debt. It's a true man who honours his debts, and I'll see mine paid. I swear it by my ancient sword.
Well, I appreciate Benhart's enthusiasm at any rate. Like Luca Teal, Benhart is an NPC that is now available for summoning against certain boss fights. Our path does not take us past that door just yet, so let's leave it be. Further, if you are playing this game for the first time, take my advice. Do not open that door until Rosa Bear and Benhart are gone. Trust me on this one, I promise. I am not leading you astray. But we've accomplished so much today. I think now is a good time to call it. But with the power of a great soul, I don't think there's a limit to what we can achieve. I'll talk to you guys next time.